And as the world's largest economy, that would certainly help us.
Question number 2, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment. Does he stand by his statement that those providers who have received funding for foundation-level courses in the recent contestable process were chosen because of their ability to, quote, deliver to those most at need of foundation education programs?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, yes, and in doing so I'd like to point out to the member that in 2011 around 60% of people enrolled at Level 1 and 2 programs already in fact held an NCA Level 2 qualification or higher. So one of the changes with Level 1 and 2 provision is to focus it on second chance learners who can most benefit from it. So yes, again, we do need to fund providers that are able to get people in the door and deliver to those most at need of foundation education programs.
Grant Robertson.
What action has he taken in response to the comments from Manukau Institute of Technology Chief Executive Peter Brothers, who said, quote, "We have been approached by some PTEs who are looking to buy curriculum and teaching materials from us because they bid for courses they have not previously been teaching."
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, it may come as a surprise to the member, Mr. Speaker, that all the time providers start courses that they haven't previously been teaching. And the point for the member, it's important to point out, and I appreciate that the Labor Party is very focused on the public sector unions, so this is pretty much something that they need to focus on. But the focus here is on providers that can deliver foundation education, and their experience includes things such as youth guarantee, FTDO, youth training and subcontracted Level 1 and 2 provision.
Grant Robertson.
How does a private training provider who has to ask a local polytech for curriculum and teaching materials for a course that they have successfully bid for demonstrate that they have the ability to deliver to those most at need of foundation education programs?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, again, Mr. Speaker, I think the member's a little bit blinded by his approach, but the reality is that private sector providers do a very good job of providing foundation education, and they may be supplying new courses as part of this new provision, but many of them, as I said previously, have been supplying youth guarantee, youth training, FTDO and subcontracted Level 1 and 2 provision, and are very good at it.
Grant Robertson.
How is it that a private training provider could be awarded the contract to deliver a foundation level course but does not have the teaching or curriculum materials to deliver it?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know how often I have to repeat this for the member, but actually providers all the time get the opportunity to take up provision and then set up courses and actually proceed with those courses. It may sound weird to the member, but it's sort of how the world works.
Grant Robertson.
Speaker, is he aware of the flow-on consequences of polytechs losing $32 million worth of funding for foundation courses, which include Welltech cancelling ESOL classes for 80 refugee students, many of whom will not have the resources to enrol anywhere else?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, again, the member seems to be completely focused on the only good provision in his world is polytechnic provision, and that's the problem that we're dealing with here. The reality is the polytech sector has done very well over the last 4 years. Its income has grown 12%. In terms of this year's investments by the TEC, there are a number of things happening. There's the new competitive Level 1 and 2 programs, there's increased youth guarantee places, there's more trades training, and many polytechnics are moving up the levels. So what's going on is a range of things, and yes, providers are changing courses, and it's an entirely appropriate thing for them to be doing.
Question number 3, Colin King.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills and